Good day, my Telos podcast friends. We've got Justin from InfiityBloc. Justin's got the recently famous quote in Telegram. Telos has the speed and capabilities of ESIO, network level order books of Stellar, storage of Filecoin, and instant liquidity of Bancor, all with no ICO and no single mega whale founding team. Justin from InfiityBloc on the show today. If you are looking for a cool community token, crown.club, the crown token. I have some of those. I'm giving them out to help build community. Let's show people how strong the Telos community is. Leave some comments about the show in the YouTube and mention crown, and I will send you some crown tokens. Today's podcast sponsored by hybrid.games. Check it out. That is our sound engineer, Scott. He is off the hook. Without further ado, let's get right into Justin from InfiityBloc talking all about the new developments with Telos.
You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain.
The Telos Podcast.
You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Good to see you today, Justin. Welcome to the Telos Podcast. What's the most interesting thing going on in Telos right now?
Hey, Brendan, how you doing?
Good, man.
To be on the show again. It's always a hard question, right? There's so much happening. I mean, just yesterday, the Bancor algorithm was added to Telos. So that's going to allow people to trade between the different Telos tokens, even without orders being in an order book. You know, there's always liquidity instantly. I think that's a huge thing, obviously. And the Telos token is actually the intermediary token, no matter which tokens you're swapping between on the Telos network. So that's going to add a lot of value, inject a lot of value into Telos. I think that's a huge thing. We got some amazing apps coming like Zeptagram. I was just on a call with them earlier today, and yeah, I'm just super excited about the ability for people to invest in, you know, whether it be songs or albums. Like, imagine investing in, you know, a Beatles song. Like, that would be a blue chip like investment, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
I think it would be incredible. Like, you could get from something like that. I imagine even with a high valuation, there would be, you know, a return of like 4% or 5%. And I think that the tokenization of everything is a very exciting concept.
Yeah, that's rad. Can you explain what Zeptagram is? I'm not real familiar with that project.
Yeah. So Zeptagram is a platform that allows artists to list their songs and sell the rights to them, sell the royalties to them, to their fan base. So it's a cool concept where, you know, your fan base, who is already incentivized or not so much incentivized, but just very passionate about your music, they can suddenly be also incentivized to tell the world about it. And, you know, they can go beyond buying your CDs or MP3s or, you know, using Spotify or whatever. They can go beyond that and actually buy a piece of your music. I think that's freaking amazing. And so, you know, when these songs are played on the radio or streamed or used in a movie or TV show, you know, these fans who are investors in that token for that song, they will actually get, you know, they'll receive a dividend or some equity in the returns from that.
How far along are they? Are they they have a beta out right now, or are they in the conceptual phase?
Yeah, actually their beta is actually live, and you can use it. There's a few little bugs here and there, but you can sign up, do your KYC, start browsing through the music that's available. Yeah, and start actually investing. So, I mean, I'm sure they would love to have as many kind of people in the Telos community or beyond that in the crypto community, just getting in there, testing it out and letting them know what they could fix before they like take it mainstream.
they have streaming music. Are they hosting the music as well, or is this like tokenizing the songs, and then are they getting revenue from their streaming site, or are they trying to kind of tie in revenue from all different areas like Spotify and things like that?
Oh, for now, actually, the music isn't hosted on the website. It connects through to Spotify. There's like links to the relevant art, the song itself or the album, and you basically get taken to Spotify. You listen to the music, switch back to Zeptagram, and you're like, do I want to invest in this or not? It tells you, what percentage equity they're giving up. And yeah, you decide to invest however you actually however much you want.
That's interesting, because there's so many different takes on how to do this tokenizing music, and I've seen ones where they're kind of measuring by the second and then doing instant payouts, which is pretty blockchain intensive. There's a lot of infrastructure already around putting music out, and it seems like utilizing that infrastructure and then using the blockchain to kind of tokenize the payment channels, if that makes sense, or to distribute equity from when the payments happen as they already do, makes a little bit more sense. I mean, it seems like a more logical inroad into the music industry. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very, very logical inroad. I mean, and I've never seen a platform that is actually doing this. So I think it's just like going to be a home run, to be honest. Like, if they get the UX right and it's really easy for someone to get in, look at all the listen to all the songs, pick out which ones they want. I think it's very exciting. Like I had fun today just browsing through, listening to a lot of these songs and then just going, this sounds like a good deal. I might invest in it. Like, it's much more engaging investing in a piece of art, like a song, compared to like a Google stock. I feel like I think it's really cool. And there could be gems, like it could be a really old piece of music that you might know the perfect movie for it, and you could like buy a stake in that and then go to the movie studio or the TV studio and like literally sell them on the song and then get a piece of the revenue.
Yeah, I mean, there's already people who are so engaged in music without any monetary incentive. There's already people who just go through and curate these awesome lists just because they want to share them with their friends or just for themselves. So the idea of giving people some value return for something they kind of are passionate about already is always something that's interesting to me. There's some cool overlying incentives there. The other weird way to think about music, and from the person making the music ends, it's almost like a futures contract with corn or something, when you're like, you grow this giant thing of corn and then you're like, I'm just going to sell it for whatever the futures market determines. I'm going to sell it right now just in case it gets wiped out. They don't want to expose themselves to the volatility of the market waiting till they harvest, and all these, there's a lot of risk there, so they sell it early, cut out the risk of a storm coming in. Music is kind of the same way. Like, these musicians are pumping out music, and they don't there's a lot of risk there. Most of the songs are going to fail. A lot of them are going to fail a lot, and it's just kind of every once in a while one's going to hit. It would take a little bit of the dependence off building hits if they could kind of monetize with their fans before stuff goes out and becomes a hit or not, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if you're an upcoming artist, like, if you only have a small sample of people that can invest in you, like these big companies like Sony Music, that really limits your opportunity. So you either need to rely on getting that deal with these big studios, or you manage to just, I don't know, use your life savings or your families or your friends, like, and just rely on that. And most of them unfortunately fail, but it's certainly helps to get a whole community of your fan base behind you by having that easy way for them to invest in what you're doing, help you pay for the cost of producing the music, doing the marketing, all that sort of stuff, and having this community around you who can kind of help market as well. Like help push the what you're doing out there. It's really an amazing concept, I think.
And fans are already like that. They're very, there's like, groupies and groups of people who travel around with bands just because they want to be there. They're just supporting by being in the crowd and hanging out and kind of bringing hype along with the band. It's like those people, that's just those same type of people would branch out more. People just want to be a part of it. So Zeptagram launched on Telos, obviously. Did they come from somewhere else? They built straight onto Telos, or what's their history?
I believe they came straight on to Telos, actually. I know Sukesh Tedler is involved. And yeah, I think he pointed them in the direction of Telos. I think, yeah, it's the perfect platform. Telos is the perfect platform for Zeptagram. I mean, with the free user accounts and obviously being EOS.io based, yeah, it's a great platform for them. I think it's like definitely a dApp that could, eventually have millions and millions of users, and, our free account program, that's kind of integral for a startup for that first million users. Like if you were doing this on EOS, it would cost $2 to $3 million, like for that onboarding. That's just too much, right?
Wow. Well, we're closing down the Zeptagram podcast. Thanks you guys for coming and listening to the show here. But yeah, that's a killer project. That's a great start, man. I didn't even know about Zeptagram. So cool. You mentioned something else in the beginning of the show. You mentioned that an intermediary token adds value. Telos being the intermediary token adds value on Bancor. How do you think that pans out?
I mean, on a high level, every time you add more and more utility to what a token can do, it generally increases the value. But from what I understand is, so if you are listing your token on the Telos Bancor contract, you will actually need to put in the smart contract a number of Telos and a number of your individual token. And by adding this to the contract, it actually allows the flow of buys and sells to happen with a low variation on the price. So the more tokens you load into these contracts, basically the less fluctuation in price for users who want to go between these tokens. And yeah, Telos will be quite important in this equation because people aren't just trading between Telos and CoinX. They're also trading between CoinX and CoinY, but Telos will be the coin in the middle that things need to be traded through. Because like if you try and like have enough of each potential pairing, it's just impossible. It would just be too complicated. So Telos being the intermediary, it obviously increases the utility of the Telos token itself, but it acts as a way to provide liquidity to all coins between all potential pairs, which is really exciting.
And are you talking all potential pairs within the Telos chain or within all of?
At the moment, just within the Telos network itself. So, the Zeptagram token and what's another? Cubicles token. If you want to swap between those two tokens, you actually, from the user perspective, you can do that. You're just like, oh, I want to trade 500 Zepta tokens, and it will tell you how much you'll get based on how much of these coins are loaded in. And it's simple. You just press swap and then it swaps, basically. And actually, this is live on the CoolX wallet, which is really cool. So people can get in there, download CoolX. I think it's on iOS and Android. And, you can start playing around with it.
I haven't used the CoolX wallet. How is that? And what's your favorite mobile wallet?
I like all these different wallets for different things, but the CoolX wallet is really great for currency, just obviously because the EOS Telos South Africa guys are quite involved in the creation of stable coins. They've got the EOS think it's called the ZAR token. Yeah, that's correct. Which is based on the South African rand. It makes it a key strength, and just the usability for kind of payments with the QR code scanning is very, very good on that wallet. They also have a free account onboarding for Telos. That certainly is a huge user improvement feature. So yeah, I think that's a great wallet. There's obviously Telos wallet by Telos Venezuela. I have had limited ability to use that one just because I don't have an Android at the moment. But I hear that's really, really good. We have Math Wallet. I love Math Wallet because it does every crypto. So if you want to, use the same wallet for Bitcoin as you want to use for Telos, that's fantastic. It also allows you to sign transactions in dApps. So that's really cool. So those are the main mobile wallets, I'd say. Obviously Lynx as well, which everyone knows about. So yeah, Lynx is also probably one of the best user interfaces, obviously. The only issue with Lynx at the moment is the signing of transactions has been removed temporarily, but hopefully we'll get that back soon. And then on desktop, we've got obviously Scatter, which is a really great wallet, obviously. Those guys are champions and doing some great stuff. And yeah, a lot of these wallets actually have, a desktop variant. I know Math Wallet does. Squirrel is obviously awesome as it has the free account onboarding. And then you've also got the ability to buy Telos through the Carbon portal. That's all built in. And then you've got your governance for worker proposals. Squirrel is obviously a really great and feature-rich wallet. I sort of see that as my go-to for my advanced things. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic wallet if you want features.
Squirrel Desktop is my go-to for advanced, the governance, the voting, the proxy, Mr. Happy Money proxy, by the way. The worker proposal. This is a worker. This shows a worker proposal. So yeah, Squirrel Wallet. I am using all the time. I love that. Love that wallet. Let's get back into the Bancor a little bit, and also there's a network level order book, a decentralized exchange, Vapaee. You want to talk a little about Vapaee?
Yeah, I think leading on from Bancor, Vapaee is it really goes hand in hand with just the usability of our network, both for users and developers. I mean, Vapaee, for those who don't know, it's basically the Telos DEX. It's the network level order book that anyone can hook into and create a user interface. So the beauty of this is that potentially there'll be all these different user interfaces for swapping or trading tokens on Telos, but they'll all be using this one order book. And if you're a trader, whether it's stock or crypto, you'll know that liquidity is everything. Whether you want to do a small order or a really large order, you want to be able to buy your crypto or trade your crypto at a favorable rate. You don't want to buy $1,000 worth of Telos, but then because the lack of liquidity, which is the amount of sell orders, isn't there, you end up having to pay 12 cents or 13 cents for your Telos when the actual going rate is 10 cents. So that's really important to a lot of different people, including the pro traders. So yeah, we've got this network level order book that I think in the future is going to be really, really big. And it's going to ensure a lot of liquidity on our network. Hopefully there's only a couple of different DEXs available, but this is the major one, I think.
And this in Vapaee is a decentralized exchange that's specific to Telos, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Maybe one day it will list tokens outside of Telos, when there's an IBC solution. But for now, it's just going to be great for Telos network tokens, which, yeah, I'm expecting. I think we've probably got about around 10 tokens now, but I think in the coming months, with the amount of lead time there's been since the Telos launch, we're probably going to see like another 10 or more dApps release in the coming month or two.
Killer. Yeah, you mentioned the liquidity on exchanges. That is a big that is a big factor. That's the ability for people to buy and sell the token is huge. Right now, I know that when you look on CoinMarketCap, most of the liquidity is on CoinTiger. And that's where some of the trading's been doing. I went and looked at the spread there. Actually, the spread had gotten pretty close together, and tokens were moving. So that's cool to see. So for anyone that wants to buy or sell Telos, CoinTiger is kind of cracking right now, and that's where the most liquidity seems to be. So that's kind of cool. I try to monitor that. It's Telos is there's slippage. It's hard to get Telos right now. If you want to buy Telos, it's going to cost you, it's going to cost you money. So yeah, hopefully more liquidity means that more people can actually buy Telos without having to pay a bunch extra for it.
That's the hardest thing right now, because everyone seems to be hodling Telos. Like they want these high Rex rewards, and also they're just generally excited about what's happening on the network. Telos is like continually proving its governance and that it's working, and like all people's favorite block producers are staying up the top, and there's opportunities for everyone. So yeah, it's really hard to get your hands on Telos right now. Yeah, but actually going back to the DEX, the other big thing is, as a developer, you want to deploy your dApp with your own token. On other networks, it's like you have to like beg to be listed on an exchange. Whereas having both the Bancor algorithm on Telos and the DEX, and they're very open to anyone listing. Because of this, it just means that's one less thing you need to worry about as a developer. You're going to get a listing, and you're going to be able to have liquidity for your token. I think it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, that is a huge advantage. I mean, and that's a way for it forces some sort of for developers to drive some value too as well. If you just put anything out there and try to sell on an exchange, it's instantly worth nothing almost. So it forces people to really think about, your coin's going to be on the open market, so you're going to have to think about what your value proposition is right off the rip. I think that's kind of
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to list. It is still by choice, but I think a lot of people will list earlier because they can.
Do tokens have to be listed by the project to be on a decentralized exchange, or can someone holding the tokens list them?
That's a good point. I actually think that maybe anyone can, but I could be wrong.
Well, it's that's interesting. I'm going to look into that. I'm curious about that. But I mean, that's not necessarily a big drawback. That just means that someone wants to buy and someone wants to sell a token. Then that's kind of a lot of what crypto is about, is giving people this freedom to operate how they want.
Totally.
Speaking of random tokens that are coming out on Telos, I saw LOL Coin, or I'm part of LOL Coin chat. You want to talk about that? It's kind of a fun idea.
Yeah, definitely. LOL Coin was like something that I just thought of randomly. Can I show it on screen?
Yeah, you can share a screen.
I can actually show people firstly the Vapaee DEX.
Yeah, screen share it and then keep talking as you screen share, because some people listen in podcast as well. So yeah.
So Vapaee.io. So this is the first user interface for the Telos DEX contract. It's still early, but it's improving every single day with the user interface. And of course, anyone can make their own. So that's always awesome. So this is the LOL coin. It's for shits and giggles. And it's actually, there's only 21 million, just like Bitcoin. Yeah, it's basically a proof of laughs coin. I'm sort of working out exactly how it will be mined. There's two options in my head. Like maybe I just give out LOL coin to a bunch of influencers like yourself, Brandon. And you know, when you see people doing funny things on Telegram or Twitter or Instagram, wherever, you just tip people LOL coin. And that could be fun. But, you know, after I decided on the 21 million supply cap, it brought me to thinking like maybe I could have these coins mined in the same way that Bitcoin is mined. So Bitcoin has a distribution where it gets harder and harder to mine the coins. Of course, with Bitcoin, you know, mining is using these ASIC miners, which are a basic computer that only does one algorithm really, really well. And you've got to add more and more of these miners, etc. I don't want to go into too much detail with that. But the point is, like, on day one, it's easy to get a bunch of Bitcoin. You know, towards the last day when the, you know, 21 millionth Bitcoin is mined, it's really, really difficult. So I want to do the same thing with Lolcoin potentially. And how it will work is on Twitter, you will put a joke up or a meme or anything funny and use like hashtag lol, and you post it. And then based on the number of views or retweets or some variation of, you know, these types of things, at the end of each day, there'll be like a summary of, you know, how many views or whatever each joke got using that hashtag. And there'll be a payout that happens in line with that Bitcoin like distribution. So really, if you get in early, it'll be easier to earn these LOL tokens. But yeah, I think it would be an interesting concept, and the technology is already there with bounty blocks. So I would be teaming up with them. And yeah, all you need to do is like hashtag LOL and with whatever joke or funny thing you're doing, and you know, we'll pay you your LOL tokens automatically. There'll be some sort of registration, obviously, but after you're registered, it's just say your joke, hashtag LOL, and yeah, you have a chance to mine some LOL coins.
Yeah, I like the idea of there being some sort of mining or something to do. There's been a few examples of tokens that just are put into the community as fun. I mean, Morty's is a pretty classic example of one kind of taking off that was that didn't have necessarily a mining. It was just everyone bribing each other. That was a pretty fun one. So yeah, but I like the idea of there being something tied to the mining or the distribution as opposed to just going and turning a bunch of people into lol whales, making them work for it.
Oh, definitely. I got to give credit to Morty's. Like, I've taken a lot of inspiration from what they're doing with their intergalactic shitcoin. I mean, this is a shitcoin of sorts also, with a different twist, I guess.
This is a shit and giggle coin.
Yeah, shit and giggle coin. Actually, while I'm here, I should show people, because like this is incredible. I mean, obviously there's the exchange and it works just like, you know, any exchange, Binance or whatever, but they actually have a section where you can create your own coin.
Oh, and in Vapaee, you can create your own coin, huh?
Yeah, you can create your own coin. And it's really easy. Like, anyone can do it. Like, I'm not very technical at all, as you know, Brandon. And I was able to make my shits and giggle lol coin. So everyone should create their own shitcoin or good coin, whatever.
Well, there's something for people to play around with. It's just, everyone should go create their own coin at some point, just so when you're a grandparent someday and you're talking to your grandkids, you can be like, I created, a shit coin when anyone was allowed to create a cryptocurrency, and, you'll be telling stories
totally,
about it. Some days, there'll probably be some crazy regulations around creating shit coins.
Well, Dogecoin was a shit coin.
Oh my God.
I mean, and like, it's trading for, I don't know what, but it's trading for something, and it's...
other stuff that's going on in Telos, we've got some developments, I guess, with the Telos Foundation website that's been kind of morphing lately. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, there's some exciting things happening, and that's caused us to pivot the Telos Foundation website a little bit. So basically, cool, it's showing up. So it's telosfoundation.io. This is the main site. It's changed quite substantially. But what we're doing is we've got this new website, telos.net, which is in production, or not in production, but it's being developed at the moment. And that's going to be, it's coming soon. So that's going to be the main portal to Telos in the near future. And we thought, given the telosfoundation.io, like the URL itself, it sort of suggests it's going to be more about Telos Foundation, not so much the network itself. So we've started to make that pivot towards the foundation website being about foundation activities, foundation grants, just what we're up to, who we are, what we're doing, that sort of thing. And this new Telos.net website, it's going to be a collaboration between the foundation and the community, and it's going to have everything that a new user on Telos would want, or even an existing user. It's going to be that go-to portal where you find out what worker proposals are happening, potentially get some work for yourself, engage in bounties, create an account, all sorts of different things. It's really exciting. Yeah, that sort of thing. There's lots more. I don't want to give it all away, but it's going to be it's going to be the front door to Telos and provide a really amazing user interface.
What do you think, like, the first thing on a website like that? I mean, so you're going to be trying to, it sounds like bigger picture, the marketing team's trying to drive traffic just from the general, is it from the general crypto market or the general public to Telos.net website?
Well, to be honest, like, we want to make it open to anyone, the general public, I'd say. I mean, obviously it's going to be usable for, crypto people and already existing Telos people. But we want to go beyond that. We really need to get away from just only serving the existing crypto community. The existing crypto community is finite. It's very, very small. And so we want an experience where it is as easy to sign up to Telos or get an account on Telos as it is, like, say, signing up to Facebook. Mm-hmm. And we want to make it as easy to get involved in a community group on Telos as it is to get involved in a community group on Facebook. Like, that's where it needs to get to if we're going to succeed. Otherwise, we're going to be, like, spinning up networks that are only like a few million users, which is not really where we want to be. We want to get into the billions of users eventually.
What's that landing page look like? I mean, just conceptually, I know that we're not that site's under development, but what's, like, something that someone brand new to crypto or blockchain, what's something that they see that is their first entry? Is it a wallet? Is it a way to purchase Telos? Is it a way to chat? Or, I mean, what is it?
Basically, what you're going to get hit with when you hit the page is like a story of what Telos is. Like, that's going to be, there to see immediately. And then there'll be an easy way to sign up. Those things have to be really, front and center. And then, there'll be pathways for people to deep dive on exactly the nitty gritty of what Telos is. But what hits you is just like the overall, what does Telos actually help you achieve? So, like, a lot of these details are being finalized, so I don't want to get into too much detail, but we want to make it, like, super simple. We want to, like, even obfuscate the blockchain to a certain extent. Like, it's really all about what it achieves and not so much how it does that.
And the Telos Foundation site here itself is going to be just more centered around what's up with the Telos Foundation, what's new with them.
At the moment, we've sort of, like, added a few elements that users critically need. because we realized we've ripped away this old site that allowed them to do everything. So we wanted to like leave some of the important things, like, you know, for instance, getting access to the Squirrel wallet and getting a free account from there, and then also understanding like what exchanges we're trading on, and just pointing them to the CoinMarketCap listing as well. That's kind of important. You can also buy Telos on Carbon. So yeah, it's going to evolve a little bit, but hopefully it serves people for the next month or two.
Cool. And it's there was the Onramp for Carbon there. Can you how is that Onramp? Is it and do you know if it's possible for people in the US to use it? I haven't tried using that credit card and Onramp for Telos.
Currently, it is not available to US customers. I mean, there are obviously ways that you can get access to it, you know, using a VPN, but we can't endorse that. You know, it's really simple otherwise, and people in most countries outside of the US, it's as simple as name how much you want and buying it at the current market rate.
Is there slippage when you buy with Carbon?
No, there's very little slippage at all, if any, the way it's set up. So yeah, it's actually a very good way to buy a decent amount or a very large amount of Telos without any slippage. The only thing you need to consider is obviously there's a carbon fee of $3. You do need to do KYC to purchase more than, I don't remember if it was 250 or 500, something in that ballpark.
Per what? Per week or per day?
I think that was
For just
per day.
Okay.
No, I think that was actually per day. So you could continually buy a little bit of Telos every day.
Yeah,
It's not too bad at all.
You start loading your bags on Telos if anyone's listening that's outside the US.
You can actually use Apple Pay or Google Pay, credit card, debit card. There's so many different options. It's a fantastic way to buy Telos really easily.
Another one that you may or may not know about is Edna. Or what's the latest with them? Is there anything new on them? Because it's been a little while since I heard about them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, I think they've had their heads down and they're you know, doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. They've actually brought on Worbly. You've probably already talked about that previously, which is great because that brings in kind of the financial compliance side of things. So now Edna as a project is on it's on EOS, it's on Telos, and it's on Worbly. From what I know, they may or may not be using our DStore storage solution to store the DNA. If they do that will be incredibly exciting. But yeah, they haven't actually provided too many updates to the public more recently, but I'm very excited about that project.
You talked about kind of building a type of app store in the future or something for Telos. Do you think that would be useful? You said in the intermediary that might be useful. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, that's going to be one thing that will be coming to Telos.net. And I think it's much needed. Like at the moment, we don't have something like that. And we want to make it super easy for these new apps to get listed. And, you know, just as a way for our users to find what they can do on Telos. I think longer term, it's not as important because if you're using like Facebook or any app these days, like you don't go to the MySQL website or whatever database they're using and like look for a list of apps that are using their technology. Like, so that's sort of what we're doing in a way by creating an app store. But I mean, there's a different element because it's so new, obviously. But yeah, I think having an app store will be huge for users and developers alike. It makes it a lot easier to understand what you can do with Telos by seeing other examples and use cases being done.
Yeah, I think that idea of what you can do to use it, both for the user, what do I do with blockchain? Well, check this out and do all this stuff. Or also with, if you're trying to recruit people to build onto Telos, or developers that are looking for somewhere to build, you can go here and you can see all the things that have already been built. So yeah, like you're saying, intermediary use cases is you're probably right on with that.
Yeah, I think even if it's just an intermediary step, there's a lot of things that we can do by having apps register to an on-chain list. And, if anything, just making it easier to contact them and tell them about updates to the blockchain so they're ready and prepared. So there's a lot of process-related reasons for creating this, that I'm excited that it's going to enable us to build a better relationship with the developer network.
Yeah. What's going on with your block producer these days? I saw that you moved your node to speed it up.
Oh, I don't know if we moved it to speed it up. It actually is a funny story. There's another block producer actually had deployed to the same data center, and we only realized it when the California electricity issues were happening, because like their nodes were going down at the same time as our nodes.
Oh, okay.
So it made us realize, oh wait, we're on the same data center. We need to move to another data center, and make sure that the network is adequately decentralized. I mean, obviously, with only 2 top 21 BPs, being on the same data center is probably not going to bring down the whole network or increase the risk too much. But, it's just something that's good practice and something for us to be good to be aware of, and, make the adequate actions to decentralize the network and move to another location. Because say like there was something took out the whole country of the US even, or a whole state, it could cause real issues. So it's better to have your network or have your nodes in totally different locations.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually kind of ironic. I think because there was like a Schelling point there. We went, and our Telos San Francisco block producer, we signed up for the Silicon Valley data center because it says Silicon Valley. We're like, oh, cool, And I think is that the one that you were on?
Yeah, we were on that one.
Yeah, and and Christina was like, hey, there's already block producers here. We should move. And we just before all that power outage stuff happened, we had switched our node to a different, I think we went to LA or somewhere, but we didn't it's kind of ironic that there was 2 other people there. We thought it was just one, but
yeah.
Anyway,
that's interesting.
That's a funny little the little micro Schelling point for block producers in the Silicon Valley. We're like, oh, I want that one. It's Silicon Valley. It looks cool.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because you I don't know, you don't want to publicly advertise where your servers are too much or which data center, just because of potential security risks. But it takes an event electricity issues or whatever with the data center and everything coincidentally going down at the same time. It takes that for you to realize. So it's should we be telling each other where we're deploying just to avoid these issues? I don't know, but yeah, it's very interesting.
It's good to have little micro traumas like that to kind of make the network more resilient, because now all 3 of our block producers are kind of much more cognizant of where the node is, how secure that actually is. That's the importance of the diversification.
Totally.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, but having them outside the United States is important too, because it's not out of the question for the United States power grid to go down for a period of time. So
yeah, it'd be crazy, but crazy things happen sometimes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea. What's that one project, Bios, where they're putting freaking nodes into space? I think that's the next level. That's funny. We should, let's launch our own satellite with a into space with a block producer for Telos, dude.
Yeah.
Bring InfiityBloc and Telos SF together and get a little weather balloon or something and send it out.
Yeah. I think we could do that maybe one day.
That'd be fun, man. It's not.
I hear you can rent space in a SpaceX ship or shuttle. So yeah, maybe we'll save money by sending up both of our BPs at the same time.
I was just cleaning out my going deep into my garage the other day. I found a weather balloon, so I'm gonna fill that thing up and see how high I can get it and do a little test. That's a worker proposal. I need like
a really expensive one,
I need
right?
$2 million for some cargo on SpaceX.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the latency might be an issue, but I don't know how BIOS is doing it. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, those that one, the dude who's part of that, they've been part of NASA. They're kind of like old NASA guys, so they probably got some old connections or some knockoff yard sale rocket ship parts, or who knows.
Yeah, definitely. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty good note to end the Telos podcast on for today. Just some absolute wild ideas and speculation. That's always a good one to end on.
Yeah, definitely. I love it.
Yeah,
That's a good way to end. I'm just super excited about the future of Telos. Like, we've just got so many awesome apps coming, like Zeptagram that we spoke about earlier. I'm just looking forward to the continued development of, these decentralized liquidity networks of sorts with, the Telos DEX and Bancor. Yeah, it's just very exciting times. Just generally in crypto, I think we're at the start of something good. I think all the shit coins have cleared out, and yeah, I mean, it's just a question of how fast everything happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, yeah, we're going to be launching nodes into space. I know it. It's just a matter of when.
There we go. Well, on my end, I've got Mr. Happy Money Proxy, and I vote for InfiityBloc, your fantastic block producer.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This show also, we are building helping build the crown.club community. So I'm giving away crown tokens for people who interact in the comments section. So interact, let me know you want some crown tokens, and I'll send them to you. And that's a cool little community token that a lot of people, Max Infeld, Dwayne, Shmoney Bags, a lot of this crypto community's in on that crown token. So we'll give them a little push as well. Thanks for coming on the show today, Justin. Rad to have you.
Man.
And
Cheers.
This is the Telos podcast. Cheers.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
The money is not the prime asset in life. Time is